With regard to the past couple of weeks, I felt, and maybe you're in a similar position, that we've been a little dry in regard to new publications from Icon for Hire, in regard to what's coming out in anticipation of The Reckoning, their new album debuting September 30th. Of course, I've been very excited. I'm a big Icon for Hire fan. I've been for many years, and I'm certainly looking forward to this new album. I've really liked the first 4 singles. And we've been promised, as was made reference to me in regard to a comment from another Icon for Hire fan, we've been promised 5 songs going into the album's release, as well as 5 music videos to accompany those. So, since covering Shadows, because they did something a little different, since Breakdown. Of course, prior to that, we had Ready for Combat and Dismantled, the first 2 singles debut simultaneously of a music video, but with Breakdown, we've changed that up, and Shadows continued that pattern, where the song debuts prior to the music video. Now we have the music video, so of course I'm very excited to add that visual complement on, because, Icon for Hire music videos, they're always as special to me as the songs themselves. I mean, these are, again, like I said, big fan of Icon for Hire. I've been for, since the scripted days. I do like to use it as a bit of a boasting point. I've been familiar with their talent for a long time, and The Reckoning I've been very impressed with. So of course I'm looking forward to covering a new music video from them, and again adding on a dimension to a beautiful song in my opinion. Of course I covered Shadow previously, as I said, so this video I'm going to try and have it more centric to the music video, considering that is the new add-on here. My thoughts, if you want to dive into that track more with me, I'm not sure, maybe we'll touch on some points here with this song, I'm not exactly sure, maybe the video will compel that, but I've given attention to the actual piece more at a much deeper level with that first video. So you want to consult my thoughts on that video, you can reference if you so choose. But for this, let's add on the music video. As always, I'm going to cue this up and we can watch the music video for ourselves together. And if you are in the place where you'd like, this is familiar territory as well for my music reactions, if you do like to read the message of the piece in regard to the lyrical construction, I will put those into the music video for you if you choose to read along with it as we go through. Alright, without further ado though, here we go. New Icon for Hire stuff. Again, I'm always looking forward to seeing more of their stuff. We got one more single to go after this, and then The Reckoning debuts. I really can't wait. It's a good album thus far, but let's cue up Shadow from a music video perspective. Okay, we're kind of going back here. This is Ready for Combat territory with the costume.
Life's a little brutal, a little bit beautiful. I don't think I understand it at all.
Here's the freshness. Okay, is there a story here? Other than a beautiful outfit, I love the threads. It's great. That was teased on the cover of the single. I like the red and the black, by the way. We've had a lot of green and black over the last couple music videos, and it's been fine, but so ominous. I love it. Nice change. Oh, it's like a crimson dress, too. That's beautiful. More starlit. Part of it could be the lighting. Easily. She's such a strong performer. I love watching Ariel. This is basically just, again, one big performance piece. I'm interested to see maybe what the idea was to connect this to Ready for Combat on the introduction. Maybe this is the prelude in her mind? I don't know. Either way, it's a fun watch. Nice use of the cloud coming in. That's great. Yeah, I think that's the idea. It's supposed to be like in her brain. That more aggressive side is what she was nervous to show. Again, I'm putting that in context of Ready for Combat and its music video. This song has grown on me with time, by the way. I mean, I liked it first, but we'll talk about it more in the videos we go through, but I've really built a deeper appreciation for it. And this section's still perfect in regard to the vocals. And we're all like, just let loose. It's with the song. I'm trying to piece together what the end was. Like, was she not supposed to fight? Maybe they were rescuing her from the burning building. Maybe that was the idea. Oh, that's probably what the idea was, but she's getting lost in her mind. But isn't that anticipation of Ready for Combat? Maybe you have a better idea of the sequence of events here and you want to refer to that in the comment section. I would, happily read those if you feel so inclined to give me that contribution. So I can better, I guess, piece together the events of what's happening between pieces. Because obviously, I think the idea is most of the song, from this perspective, with the red and the dress and all that, that's supposed to be in the confines of her mind. That's supposed to be like the shadow side that she doesn't want to unleash with Ready for Combat. Or maybe she's sort of ruminating on her actions and then finding her, in that reflection, she's putting herself in this position of, well, I just let my shadow side reveal itself and I'm now settling with that. I don't know, I think there's a couple ways you could read into this. Again, it's a beautiful piece, and like I stated, previously, I felt that way on original listen, to the point that I said my favorite track on the album thus far, and this is not in any way to be like, the previous singles as well, of Breakdown and Ready for Combat haven't been great listens. They have, and I've loved re-listening to them. In fact, I listen to this album quite a lot from what we have, at least not the full album, because we don't have that yet, but the 4 singles, I'll just, I'll go walking around town or something, I'll throw Icon for Hire on. I just love listening to them. It's been a very strong album, in my opinion, especially returning back to the rock groups of where they started. That's how I fell in love with them. Even though, I think they successfully play with a wide range of genres, particularly hip-hop and some more ballad pieces. I mean, they really do play around with their style, but they've got so much talent. I really respect them. And, as an independent group, who's, I believe, mostly continued on because of not only, very supportive fan base, but in many ways just their artistic drive and their motivation. I have a lot of respect for this group. But as I've stated previously with this album, Dismantle has been my favorite release thus far. I mean, not only because the track itself was great. I mean, the opening structure of the tunes to those first couple of verses before the chorus launches in, I've really been impressed. And that bridge is fabulous. But the message of the piece really stuck with me, even after I first covered it. I mean, the minute I first listened to the track, I'm like, oh yeah, this is solid. But in all the subsequent listens I've given it, I mean, the lyrics just really hit me. And that's what, Icon for Hire songs do pretty often, is they've got this real cathartic and healing edge to them. Oftentimes I've used them as sort of a, like I do most music groups. I've spoken before, music for me is a favorite art form out of the many varieties of content I cover on this channel from other entertainment fields. Music I've always loved because it's been closer to me in many ways than most of the people have in my life. It's an aid I've looked to in times of just needing contemplation or needing understanding or commiseration. I have music as a friend, and I found that Icon for Hire's music has really been with me for so many years. Dismantled when I started really listening to the message of that piece, and even I kind of mentioned at least a couple of things in editing the video of it, hadn't occurred to me, at least when I gave it a first listen, but that song just hit my heart, in regard to the message. And again, it's why I primarily loved it so much, and why I've said it's my favorite song, in that it just felt like it was a perfect encapsulation of where I am in my own healing journey. Not to go too far on a tangent, but I'll just say it, I was emotionally abused for 21 years. So the song for me, and the worst part about it is I didn't know in that time, that's the environment I was in. So for me, take my heart, go ahead and strip me for parts, that whole bridge, I'll send my regrets and you can keep the resentment, all of that, just like, this is a perfect narration over where I'm at in my life and what I'm realizing, like, just how much did I endure and how much damage have I sustained? Yeah, pieces have gone missing, no survival instinct, amen, that's where I'm at. Survive dismantled, indeed, Ariel, you are absolutely right, but I'm thriving for it, I do believe. But that's primarily the reason I've said, Dismantled for me has just been my favorite song on the record. It's really stuck with me. But I did indicate with Shadow that I felt there was a very close gap between the two tracks, because the music here, for me, it's a bit different, at least in the key. I mean, I'd say Ready for Combat and Dismantle kind of sounded similar. Not only for, I'd say Ready for Combat had a brasher style, but the keys were pretty similar. I mean, Breakdown's a bit of a deviation, but this felt far more foreboding and haunting. I mean, even the cover that was released in anticipation for the, for this music video, but with the single version of this piece, that had, again, primarily the caution, but like the loose threads, the more blurred, ghost-like phantom appearance. It kind of gave it a bit more of like a foreboding, haunting vision. And I felt that with the key as well here, that it was much more ominous. I mean, literally in the video, the red and the black mixture, and even the costume style itself, I mean, the thread weaving, it's just it's an excellent visual. I mean, really, like I said, this is more of a performance piece than it is continuing a storyline, even though there are those brief contributions to the piece. It's a little different from previous music videos, and it's more just showcasing Ariel performing in this beautiful environment that fits so well with the song. That mist cloud is a beautiful contribution, and that dress. And again, it looks to me like a bit of like a burgundy crimson color with the black threads, and the makeup too is a very beautiful touch. It's a very scenic presentation for a song that has that more ominous feeling. But even then, there's this cathartic element to it. I just love the way the lyrics are written. And, like I said, I covered this previously in regard to the track. I gave more of a focus to the message in that original video. And I wanted to focus more on the video here, rather than the song, but the lyric writing still it just grabs me to the point that I'd say I'm actually finding myself, with all of the listens I've given this song since originally covering that video and even going into this one, I think Dismantled and Shadow are comparable for different reasons. I think both have very strong messages and both have very strong tunes, but I think it's the tune here and it's the message with Dismantle that put it at sort of an even level for me. And again, this is not to speak ill of Breakdown or Ready for Combat. I like those tracks as well. But I think these two are really hitting the head in regard to why I love this album so much. It's Dismantled and Shadow, and I'm still at this position where I'm like, I don't know which one I put before the other. Because the tune here is just excellent, and it's such a great fit and a slight deviation from the previous tracks. It feels a little more unique with the vision of the album. And then you have Dismantle, which has such a potent narrative. I mean, this one again does too. So maybe, this one will kind of etch over it a bit. Maybe I'm still kind of biased towards Dismantle because, again, of what it meant to me. But it's a good piece. I mean, again, it's a different video. It's a little more simple in its vision, in that it's... Well, I mean, you could say there's like a general storyline, because this is more like a psychological presentation of what's happening in the Ready for Combat Ariel. And this is sort of her mind, kind of realizing, I guess, what she needs to let loose with. And boy, with that energy, I mean, again, Ariel's such a great performer. I love watching her. I've never been to one of her live shows. I'd love to go. But she just, the energy she puts into her songs, you can really tell how much she loves... Well, she and Sean, but I mean, and speaking of Ariel, because she's the only one presenting this video, you can really tell the love she has for speaking on the hard challenges of life, whether that be something a little more literal or, in this case, emotional, psychological. You really get that through her presentation of the piece, and that is definitely fleshed out, I'd say, through this. It almost read kind of similar to like a dance number, at least at certain points too. I mean, there's slower shots as well with the camera work. You can kind of see her twirling around. I mean, again, that dress is a beautiful compliment to the aesthetics of the video, but it's such a great presentation. You can just really sense the drive that motivates Ariel and her craft. I love Icon for Hire so much. They're a favorite group of mine. And Shadow was a great addition in regard to the album and the library of music videos we've had thus far. I really liked it. Good piece and great video to complement it. I can't wait to find out what the fifth track is, and I think, again, at that point we'll have to, I never like to rank things, but again, from what I can say right now, I think Dismantled and Shadow are on an even level. So that has changed since the last video, and then I did have Dismantled a couple of points above it. But, and then Ready for Combat and Breakdown follow, shortly behind them. But, I mean, those tracks are still great. I really like the album overall. We'll have to probably change the order again when it comes to whenever the fifth track releases. And hopefully that'll be soon. I mean, we've had the music video. I'd maybe give it 1 week, 2 weeks. We'll see. Of course, I'll cover it. I've loved covering the album thus far. And I'd love to hear what thoughts you have on the track down below, whether you're a longtime Icon for Hire listener like me, or perhaps this was a first impression for you. What do you think? Do you think you're going I would easily recommend, if you're interested, go look at some of their past work. They've got 4 albums now, and a couple singles. But, I mean, they're on their 5th album at this point, and Shadow, like all the tracks I felt previously, really speaks to their growth and their talents as a band. I've been very impressed all around, and I hope you were as well. So if you find yourself in that position, I'd love to hear about it down below, as well as, of course, what your experience was with listening to a debut track, or at least a debut track for you with Icon for Hire. I'd love to hear maybe your opinion on it. And of course, going forward, as I said, I will cover The Reckoning for whenever the 5th single releases, and probably the remainder of the album. I don't tend to do full album reactions too often, but I've really been enticed with this album, and I love Icon for Hire. I've always wanted to cover them. I haven't done music video, primarily a music video, but I haven't done music reactions more broadly on this channel in regard to the years that I've been active on this platform. And in the years in thinking about, or having that dream of wanting to bring music in more deeply, Icon for Hire has always been at the forefront of my mind in regard to a group that I would love to spotlight. So of course, I'm giving this a lot of thought, and I think there is a high likelihood I will cover, God willing, the rest of the album when it releases on September 30th. So keep your eyes peeled if you're interested, maybe get my thoughts on the remainder of the tracks on this channel. As well as perhaps, if you're interested in maybe hearing some of my thoughts on Icon for Hire's work, even from the past, keep your eyes peeled on some of my other endeavors. As I've been making reference to in other music-related coverage I've done on this channel, I'm starting a channel as of January 1st. That's my goal point at the very least, or the first of the new year. It's going to be called Symphonies and Small Talk. Link is in description. And these channels are interlinked in that they're both themed around music to some degree. This one's a little broader in its vision and its range of entertainment focuses, but this includes first reaction and first impression listens. Symphonies and Small Talk is going to allow me to talk about groups and music that has really inspired me over many years. Whether it be from maybe a lesser known band, maybe even you, maybe you're going to be familiar with many of the groups I feature on that channel. That tends to be a familiar point with discussion in regard to my social group. Like, nobody knows who I listen to. I bring music to my friends all the time, and they're like, who is this? Drives me crazy, but everybody online seems to know them. Anywho, I'm going to be spotlighting a wide range of music and artists that I've come to love over many years, whether it be just experiencing the talent of their craftsmanship or being inspired by their messages and their pieces. The Symphonies and Small Talk is going to showcase a lot of different artists and tracks. Icon for Hire, I can already tell you, will be a mainstay on that channel. So if you're looking to maybe gauge some of my thoughts on some of their past work and take a deeper dive with me, they will be a pretty significant presence on that channel. I already have several tracks in mind that I want to feature. But if you are interested in digging more deeply with me, if you like my music coverage here, Symphonies and Small Talk is going to be very similar. Albeit, again, a different angle, but it's similar in its vision, and it's actually, I think, entirely music focused, at least for now. And the way I'm envisioning it. But again, link down below. Keep your eyes peeled for the new year in regard to the release date. Again, it has a little while to debut. I'm starting production on it pretty soon. But for now, Shadow is a very good music video in my opinion. It's again a bit different from the past, but it's complementing a very beautiful song. And certainly I'd say it's a great addition to what I've seen thus far from Icon for Hire for The Reckoning. They've really set up a stellar release. I'm sure it'll be a fun album all around, and I cannot wait for the last single, at least as far as I'm aware, that we're going to have. Whenever they choose to debut that, again, I would estimate 1 to 2 weeks. Of course, I'll cover it on here. Can't wait to see more from the group. I love Icon for Hire so much, and Shadow was, again, a beautiful addition. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.